Thanks for having me here. So, as you said correctly, I cover with us the strategy within the insurance space and take care about really our top 20 transformation clients. And a lot of these transformation clients, right now really think about a large-scale transformation going into the digital area. What I would like to present to you today is three areas. An area is just about digital by itself, right? How do we see that from our perspective as a software vendor? The second part would be a lot about customers and how customers embark on the digital journey. And the third part would be as well how we jointly together within the ecosystem of insurers, because we believe that networks are really keen in the digital environment, are embarking on this journey. So maybe just a view on SAP in financial services, just briefly.
I think everybody knows this.
Yeah, but in financial services, we are a bit unknown, let's say it like that, right? Everybody knows we do ERP, we do analytics and all this stuff. But today, financial services is a 2 billion business at SAP. So we are 10% of SAP's entire revenue stream.
Okay, that's a good number.
That's a good number. And insurance is kind of 500 million out of that, right? So which really means that we cover not only the back office, the traditional SAP environments, but we cover the front office, which is all with CRM, omnichannel.
You have to be.
Sorry.
Can we
Do you have maybe a mic?
Do you live dollar?
Yeah, I like to.
Okay, that's even better for me.
Thank you. Which covers all lines of businesses, right? So property and casualty, life, health, group, commercial insurance. In the middle office and in the back office, our traditional HR, finance, financial asset management, and reinsurance portfolio. So that's enough of SAP, right? So let's go further into the interesting topic here. So does anybody of you know what this picture is?
It's a fire, that's for sure.
That's the Great Fire of London.
Ah.
So this year we have the 350 years anniversary of the Great Fire of London. So why the Great Fire of London? Here is insurance born, right? Because of the Great Fire of London, financial innovators in London created basically the first policies, right? How to avoid this fire, how to insure the risk of having a fire, right? So it's 350 years ago. And if we look at insurance business of today, it has not changed so dramatically, right? You have a risk, you underwrite the risk, you reinsure the risk, you have a policy that you have, right? It's pretty much the similar thing. And when I think about digital, we are thinking about how to avoid this risk, right? How to avoid the risk before it even becomes a risk, right? I think that's the...
You have to be more predictive, that's the case.
It has to be more predictive, exactly.
And you use the digital technology in order to do that.
Exactly. So that's why you see other companies coming into the insurance space, getting traction into the insurance space. And I believe that we as insurance companies, if we do not change our concept there, right, that we will, we might stay the back office of other players that are owning the front office towards the clients, right?
Yeah.
That's the risk that we have in that space. So digital is on. I do not need to tell you that, right? It's a digital conference, so we see that this is all over the place, right? With different aspects in US. If you would ask me, is innovation coming from North America, from the US? Because everybody believes they have Google, they have Amazon, and all this stuff. I can tell you what, US is 80% still broker-driven market, no price comparison websites, nothing, right? So we in Europe actually are in terms of the digital aspects, right? And
that's the insurance part, you mean?
Yeah, the insurance
sector, okay.
The insurance sector is very much advanced.
That's interesting to know.
So if I take a look at Achmea, which is really one of our largest clients around the world, they've embarked on this journey driven by regulation, right?
Ah, okay.
Because regulation was telling guys, you need to put out the commissions, right, of the brokers and that it's visible in the policy, right? And from that day on, the entire market switched to digital, right? It was from one day to the other driven by regulation, right? So I think in Europe we, in these terms, are not we are not behind the Americans in that space, right?
That's good to know, but still, are we ahead of them?
I would say when it gets down to having price comparison websites, when it's down to getting to new additional offerings, and especially from, let's say, countries like South Africa, right, where you would not expect that innovation is coming out of those countries. But if you have a look at a company like Discovery, they grew within 20 years from 0 to a 7 billion company based on vitality, right? They track your health behavior, they track what you eat, right? And based on that, create insurance offerings, create banking offerings around vitality as a heart of their business. So I believe that especially, let's say, in the flexibility into smaller countries, and you will see that as well, what does it take for a big company like Achmea to, let's say, to change? What does it take for Interamerican, for example, to change, right?
Okay.
The speed of change can be much quicker. So
This is the trends, right? That we see also, right?
this is the trends. I think you can take the picture of Interamerican and map this with this picture.
Yeah,
So
I think we've already been talking about that also in the banking sector, which
Yes.
is similar in that.
I think what is most crucial here, right? You have 4 trends, right? You have a trend of omnichannel, you have a trend of big data, you have a trend of automation, and in the end, you have a trend as well that you need to drive IT from a different perspective. So changing your business model, having a look at the application landscape, having a 2-speed type of architecture approach for the new things in digital, and while at the same time keeping up the other things, that is something that's really key. And the most important point, I think, as well, is how do you deal with your infrastructure? And
that's the main problem right now for the insurance sector, that you have your core legacy systems, have to modernize them, to change them.
It's not only that. I would say it's not enough to have a portal, right? As long as you need to have an omnichannel solution, and that's what most people do not kind of really track. You need to have a solution that builds contextual information to you as an individual. That means if you on Facebook post, you got a child, if you on Facebook post or on Twitter,
then the system should
understand. The systems should understand that, right? And that's why we, for example, invested heavily in that area, right? So we have an e-commerce platform that's reading data. So we read data out of Sprinkler, which is
that's the 360 approach.
That's the 360 approach. Only by without context, a portal is useless. You just have a portal, right? If there's not context information to your client, that when you go on the website of Interamerican, that you get an advertising for your new car, then let's say it does not add value.
So that's context for personalization. Okay.
Exactly. Let's say in the front end, right?
Yeah.
In the middle office, how we call it policy claims billing, it's a matter of really automate operations. And then in the back offices too, right? So what we believe is, and what we see the first customers is to move with this entire step into the cloud. So we have a customer presented later called Ageas, which belongs to AG Insurance. They are launching their go-to-market into Southeast Asia. They don't even have an office, right, in these markets. They are going with banks as channel partners into these markets. And they have the entire...
So that's a new business model.
That's a new business model. They have the entire stack from the front over the middle to the back office available in the cloud. They said, we do not want to be the IT company. We want to have shared service centers on top of that, knowing IT, understanding it, and business centers that really can support those approaches. And then you come, as well for us as a software company, to a different type of model, right? I mean, we've developed those solutions. There are 43 solutions that we have in that entire stack, right, to run an insurer wall-to-wall. Having them integrated on one cloud platform, that's a different game, right? And having them as well into a cloud subscription model is different than we've been used to, right? Having this typical license on-premise and so on model, right? So maybe I just flip a bit over to the examples that we have, right? One of our major examples when it gets down to this e-commerce platform is mymoneysupermarket.com. So this is the leading price comparison website in UK. So if you Google insurance UK, this is what comes up first, right? But not in the advertisement, right? You have First you go on Google search.
It's on the regular
Exactly,
research.
it's on the regular pieces. Why is that? With the platform that we provided to this client, they have the ability and a toolbox to improve the search engine results. Because one advertising, if you click on advertising in Google, it costs the insurer $40, right, by click, this advertising. So actually, it's about how clean is your e-commerce website, how many links to Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, to all the social media you have.
So it's
what is the high quality of the pictures? Are there high quality videos? That's how the search engine works within Google, and you can with this approach you can really do that, right?
Okay.
And what we did is we built in a product and a quotation engine on top of that, so you can just put it on top of any legacy environment that you have, right? Another example I want to maybe give to you is AOK. And this is a big data example. AOK is the largest public health insurance carrier in Germany. Mm-hmm. So 24 million people are insured with them. And they had the difficulty to prevent heart diseases and diabetes, right? They couldn't get the data from all pharmacies, from all doctors, from all let's say, hospitals. And I asked them, why are we investing in that big data environment right now? And the answer was, if we can see that in the age of 40 to 50, right, with this weight, with this height, has heart diseases, has following medication, at following hospital, we can create patterns, right? And we can get better
results. And you have better...
Exactly. Better information, and they get better conditions with the pharmaceutical companies to buy the medicine, right? That is the thing, right? So that was...
So that they make better use of their data.
Exactly.
And it's like business analytics,
yes.
Okay?
And maybe another two aspects that mostly are not known, right? So we have an own IoT platform. We've launched SAP's vehicle network just a month ago at the Mobile World Conference. So why did we do that? If you have a look at the telematics market, most of the companies still really have not cracked telematics, right? You get to a better underwriting. You can better underwrite the risk, but is it really bringing you more profit? Is it really bringing you more revenue? That's a question, right? So if you take numbers from 2014 till 2015, 2014, you had 12 million policies on telematics globally. 12 million globally.
12 million, yeah, okay.
It was growing by 100% from 2014 to 2015, so you had 24 million. So if you now take, we had just recently did a study with McKinsey, if you now have a look at 2020, right? In 2020, telematics policies will have a global share. So there will be 60 billion euro in premiums, right? Only on telematics. But you need to consider, the global premiums today are 4 trillion euros, right? 700 billion of it is motor insurance, right? So if of these 700 billion you have, 60 billion in 2020 come from telematics, is this really something to consider? However, if you look at connected, meaning where you put additional services to your driving behavior, sell additional services to your clients, right? More than insurance. For example, parking. For example,
so you can provide
gasoline.
Insurance to your client more than you can.
More than insurance, not only the typical policy, but services.
So
that sit
in
on
that
top.
case, you need a connected car.
In that case, you need a connected car, and the estimations are that by 2020 you have a 250 billion connected car market.
So
right?
what you're saying is that an insurance company can come to me that I have a BMW or whatever,
Exactly.
okay, and says, okay, you can buy an auto insurance from me
Yes.
for that amount of money,
Yes.
pay by the mile perhaps, but I'm offering also some other features to you, parking spots,
Exactly.
gas stations, whatever.
That's what we do with Shell, with BMW, with Easy Park. So we actually are the technology provider for that platform, and the companies with which we anywhere work, right, connect to this platform and create joint business models.
But who's the
on
one
this
that makes the sell? It's the insurance company, or could be someone else who could be sell, for example, that also sells.
Exactly.
It could be both ways, right?
It is therefore I believe the digital economy is really about the networks, right? You are not alone.
So
right?
it depends on who has the network.
Exactly. And what we believe is that we as a technology provider can provide the network, and the business models then can be created amongst those companies and together with us.
So we're talking about a new business model
Exactly.
that anyone can sell an insurance, for example,
Yeah.
even though he's not an insurer, but he can cooperate with an insurer.
Yes.
Okay, that's it.
For
Or
example,
vice versa.
That's vice versa, and that is, I think, the asset of breaking up those traditional. I mean, we as a company operate in 25 industries, right? We have 25 industry-specific solutions.
Yeah.
So for us, it's natural to build this together, right?
Okay.
And to support clients in creating those offerings. For Siemens, for example, is putting all its industry data onto our IoT platform for their clients, so the clients can analyze the machines that they have in place and the performance of the machines. We have in partnership with Intel as well to read better from the chips, right, that Intel is providing. So that's one aspect of it. The other for sure is health that we have. So I mean, health today, you have 350 million people suffering from diabetes. You have costs of 500 billion euro a year on that, right? So it's the similar concept, and in that space, it's not driven by an insurance company. In that space, it's driven by a pharmaceutical company that wants to add a blood glucose monitor, an app, and a fitness tracker, right? As part of the medication in the German health market. So you do not get tablets, right? You do not get pills. You get this, right, as a really improvement factor for diabetes, right, with your clients. So, and then you share the information with doctors, you share the information with the pharmaceutical stores, and so on. So that's the concept behind it. So they want to do, it's a new type of medicine.
And it's a new type of business model, how to promote their services.
I spoke about Ageas already. So what was important with Ageas really is that they operate these in the cloud, right? And what we said, we want to have it in the cloud. We want to have it on our in-memory computing database, which we call HANA, right?
Yeah.
So there's no presentation without HANA of SAP.
Yeah, I know.
But, and it was keen for them that they, within a half a year, can launch a new company. So they started with Singapore, then they go to Vietnam, then they go to Indonesia. But think about digital now. If you can have a platform for your new products running in the cloud, digital, that could be an incubation or a factor how you can start too, right? That you say, okay, just for my new products, right, I'll select a different way, a different approach. I consume this in the cloud, do subscription-based pricing, and get this with predefined content in the house, right? And the last point, then I will be finished.
Yeah.
So together with the Achmea guys, we did a lot of that already 5 years ago, right? So Lean, you've seen the presentation of Interamerican, was key to us, key to Achmea, key to McKinsey, key to ABN AMRO Bank. So we've been a founding partner at the business school in Nijmegen to improve Lean in financial services. On the other hand, what we did now is that in New York, we are opening up an innovation center for financial services in the financial city of the world, right? And this is not only exclusive to SAP customers or let's say prospects or whatever. This will be an open network in New York where financial services institutions can get thought leadership out of that. So we'll have Stanford University there, we have Berkeley University there, and insurers and non-insurers, right? So Under Armour, which is a fashion brand, they want to create health products for their clients too and measure this with their T-shirts, right? So this will be the network that we are launching. So as last statements with regards to what I want to point out is actually SAP is not only the, let's say, general ledger and the finance, right? We have new solutions in that space, right? We have adapted this technology really on in-memory platforms. We adapted this technology on new code lines. And when it gets down to banking and insurance, we actually service front, middle, and back office. It's companies with different sizes. So our smallest company or customer running this is a 70-people company with 20,000 policies, right? So it's not only AXA, Allianz, Generali, Achmea Group, and so on.
It's also the smaller ones.
Yeah, because, and especially since we go to the cloud where you need to standardize your business and operations, it is really something that that you need to have, right? The more standardized your business gets, right, the more you can get into really, as well, this SME markets. So that said, in a nutshell, I believe, financial services is a strategic industry to us. We have one technology stack with our clients, and digital and IoT are really at the heart of what we do, right? So we change our entire company towards...
And also it's changing, these two are changing the business models in the insurance
Exactly,
sector.
and it's changed our business model as a company too. So digital is not only, let's say, a challenge for the banking and insurance industry, it's a challenge as well for the software vendors. And I mean, the bigger you get, right, like we are, or IBM or whoever, you need to adapt this change, adapt this change too.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.